Hey guys, and welcome back to the Vertex Project podcast. Today, again, myself and Tans. No James, because he's somehow managed to sleep in once again. So today we want to talk about how you can start Forex in 2021 if you haven't already, or how you can become from unprofitable to profitable. We're also going to talk a little bit about our bootcamp at the end for anyone who's interested in getting started. So, in terms of starting in 2021 is not much difference to any other year except from the fact that COVID is in place. There is a lot of stranger market conditions. The majority are perfectly fine, and you'll get on perfectly fine if you're just learning and making sure you're going through the process properly. But in some cases, you may see some anomalies that you wouldn't usually see in a quote unquote standard market. Um, as usual, it's going to be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course YouTube. And YouTube's going to have the face cams on there if you are watching on, listening on any of the podcast softwares. So yeah, Tans, what would you be your main tips for starting in 2021?
So as always, not using signals. I think that should be a given. Oops, that was me. That was me. Yeah, I think as always, not using signals is a good way to start. Because I think we both started signals, right?
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah,
tried signals like six times.
yeah, yeah. I don't think. Well, I didn't get anywhere. I don't know if you did or not.
I did
But
the
for me,
first
it's
time, but then I blew it, and then that's what made me keep going back because I
oh,
knew you could make
you had
money.
that big lucky win, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, for me, it didn't work. I think there's a lot of free content out there, just learning the basics. So I think Baby Pips is probably the go-to. I can't think of any other free, simple. To be fair,
nah,
there's a lot on
it's
YouTube these
yeah,
days. To be
pretty much
fair,
just YouTube baby pips, and sometimes these days even TikTok. Um, but yeah,
our YouTube channel, of course, that's
yeah,
another one. Yeah, I think just taking the time and don't not expecting anything to happen quickly, because I think the like society that we're in, we expect things to happen, there and then. In trading, it just won't happen. You can't rush it. Yeah, I think just be patient with it and practice on a demo
yeah.
to start
That's
off
the
with.
main thing is pretty much just practice. You can literally pick up anything in trading, and as long as you practice on it like often, and you can start seeing consistency, it's you're gonna make money. You'll probably be thinking why it's so easy. Why is this got such a low, success rate? And it's purely because people don't manage the risk. People get greedy. If you start seeing wins and you've won like five or six in a row, you might start upping the risk, and then from
Mm.
there, you lose your account just like that, and that's it. You failed. But if you do manage your risk consistently, well, obviously that's one main thing is to manage your risk. If you're managing your risk consistently, making sure you're keeping, you know, good control over your trades and your emotions, you are going to make profit no matter what you do, really. As long as you play, in the longer term of trading and you go through every single process that you need to go through. On a side note about the YouTube channel, we are going to start posting more of the basic stuff as well. Obviously, it's been focused all around order blocks and you know, making a big change in your strategies and you getting better risk reward. But I am going to start posting some more of the basics, going through the beginners stuff of trading and some of the initial things that you would go through leading up to using our strategy. Because a lot of people potentially have seen the strategy but don't understand some of the concepts within it, even the basic stuff. So we're going to start covering that as well. On another note, Tans is currently on his iPad. That's why he looks strange.
I did mention that. Yeah,
Yeah. In terms, if you are an unprofitable trader and you've been trading for, within any time over a year, then it's not the strategy that's the problem. It's not, you know, the problem has to be with you, and that's saying it as kindly as possible. You need to understand that at the end of the day, you're in control of your own trading. Nobody else, no signal providers, no education. It's all out there. You can get all the information you need. If you've been trading for a year, and when I say trading for a year, I mean actually trading, not just following signals or randomly placing buys and sells with high lots trying to make some money. I mean actually learning and trying to trade properly for yourself. You probably have all the knowledge you need. The changes have probably come from psychological side or overcomplicating things. Um, Tans, anything to say in terms of becoming profitable?
I think, I think, yeah. When you made a good point about, it's not the strategy. Sometimes it is, obviously,
Hmm.
but the only way you would know is doing. I don't know if we did a post about it, doing the 100 trade
I
testing.
don't think we
Did we?
did a post, but yeah,
I remember reading you said it somewhere, but I think it's probably in the student
it
group.
was
To
in
be
the
fair.
community. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So essentially, you take 100 trades. Obviously, not whether you take it live or not is completely up to you. But you take 100 trades, assess the edge. Anything above 50% is an edge in itself. And if you do have an edge and you find that, all you have to do is just trust the process in that sense. Because every strategy doesn't matter what you use, which is why we offer like what we offer like one, two. There's five strategies there, and all of them are profitable. All of them work. Doesn't matter which one you use. It's just all about trusting the edge and the process. And if you don't have that confidence in doing that, it's you. It's not the strategy. You need to build that confidence before
yeah.
jumping in straight away.
The thing is, if you have done 100 trades sounds like a lot, but it is like a good representation of how your trading's going to look. If you do invest in TradingView Pro, you do get the replay tool, and you do get to go from there, and sort of it makes backtesting a lot quicker, a lot easier, and you can go for a lot higher, trade numbers. Um, Again, we're not affiliated with TradingView, but we both, well, pretty much every Forex trader uses TradingView. Uh, it's a good investment to do. It really does help you learn. Without doing it, I don't think I could possibly be where I'm at now without it.
Yeah,
The
same.
backtest and
Yeah.
replay tool is just so good. It's the only way you can allow markets to come to you and actually sort of play through it immediately rather than waiting 4, 5, 6 hours or even days for price to come to where you want it to go. Um, and this is the only way you can really speed through a lot of historical data, get a lot of backtesting, trade logs, all that information that you need, whether the strategy works or not. Within how quickly do you think you could do 100 trades? A couple
Um,
hours, probably. A bit more.
on the replay tool.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, a few hours. Few
yeah,
hours. Depending on how many hours you want to put in, but yeah, you could do it in a week if you want to split it out that way.
yeah.
It's
If you
quite
did 30
easy.
minutes a night, and you
Yeah.
just in that 30 minutes you just solely focused on backtesting, you weren't looking at anything else, just picked a pair, go through it and pick some trades, you'll be able to do 10, 20 a night easily. And the further you go on, the better you get at it, the better you get at looking at the charts, spotting things, and just sort of maneuvering around TradingView in general, because it can be quite a bit of a faff on sometimes, uh, depending on what time frames you use and etc. But it is definitely worth the investment to go through. What else for becoming profitable?
You already mentioned risk management.
Yeah, it is pretty much
Uh,
just taking accountability and making sure that you take the blame for your losses, sort of thing. Because at the end of the day, you're in control of developing experience.
yeah.
Pretty much, I don't know. When I was first picking up order blocks, for example, I had all the knowledge I needed, and I was trying to live test it, but it just wasn't realistically working until I'd put in some time to backtest it and see what sort of results I could get. And that's where I sort of developed into my own sort of strategy. It's the same strategy, same sort of, I look for the order block, potential risk entry, whatever, going from what you know, but actually seeing sort of patterns occurring in my head over and over again. I can look at a few order blocks now and decide which one I would prefer to take, just purely based off experience. Um, Asking those sort of questions isn't really going to help you. This is why the 100 trades is so important, because you can see pretty much 100 different scenarios of the exact same strategy played out, but it's going to look different every time because the charts are never going to be exact. So it's the sort of thing that you train your eye to see the same thing, but in every single different scenario as well. So even if it's not about the result for you in backtesting, it's just about practicing, it's still a very good thing to go through. Tans, you want to talk about the bootcamp?
Yeah, so we still have spaces for our boot camp on January 23rd to 24th. So it's a 2-day boot camp. Yeah, so we still have spaces. Also, the discount code. I don't know if Ben can edit as
I
good as
did that
me,
last week.
but you can edit in discount code is NY500. It'll give you £500 off the bootcamp. Yeah, so you get to learn from us live in those 2 days, and then obviously you still get full access to our course and community, and also you can so you can refresh your memory because after the bootcamp is not just that, you do get our full support. I think before we actually go on, I just want to mention a little bit about our support. Even like we're here as mentors, and you're obviously learning from our mistakes, but the best the best teacher is your own mistakes, if you know what I mean. So I think
Yeah, when we talk about
talking about
learning
trial and
from
error.
our mistakes, we mean sort of like the generic fundamentals of trading, not managing risk, not practicing, not putting in
Yeah,
time, or getting greedy, those sort of mistakes. But in terms of mistakes in the individual strategy, that comes down to you at the end of the day. You know, the set rules that we have aren't specific to each person. Um, I trade order blocks differently to Tans does, and the only way you ever develop that is to just do something like a 100 trade challenge and go through it and decide what works best for you. Because I can't trade like Tans does. It's practically I can't hold trades as long as Tans does. I mentally can't do it. So there's no point in me trying. But it doesn't mean I can't use the strategy and adapt it to how I want to use it. Same with James. He can't physically go through the amount of losses that Tans potentially takes in the entries, but he picks his trades. He'll probably take 1, 2, 3 trades a week. Tans could probably take 10 plus, if more probably. But it literally depends on your own risk appetite, your own emotional control, and your own style of trading in general. Whether you want to be a scalper, day trader, order blocks works for every single time frame, any time of the
yeah,
day,
it
any
does.
session. So depending on how you want to use it, that is, we can't teach you how or when to trade order blocks because that's completely down to you, sort of thing. We can teach the strategy, but we can't go through and sort of teach you to
Yeah, I
trade
guess
like us.
it's instinct, We can't give
Yeah,
you your instinct. That's something that you develop over time. You'll get everything taught to you exactly the way that we use it, but you know, like when we learned it, what we're teaching is our interpretation of it, because we took a complete different route with it, compared to most smart money concept groups. And how we work in our group is we want you guys to focus on yourselves and focus on your own development. We don't want you to be replicas of us in a good way.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty much impossible. Like there's what 7 billion whatever people on the planet, and
Wow, yeah, exactly.
you have like one twin or something like that out of 7 billion people. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
everyone has their own sort of personality towards trading. It is replicated in your trading. Potentially, obviously, Tans is clearly more of a patient person than I am. Hence, you can see that in the trade styles. So, it is just sort of developing your own instinct, as Tans says. But yeah, what else do we have to talk about?
I think we covered most things. As you can tell with these videos, we don't plan anything. We just turn it on Discord and start talking. To be fair, so but yeah, I think we covered everything that we needed to.
Yeah, if you have any topics for us to cover, just leave them down in the comments. Message us directly on Instagram. They'll all be in the links in the description. Our free Telegram, they'll be in there, and our business Instagram. But other than that, if that's all we have to cover, we will see you in the next episode. Hopefully, James is going to be in that one. Um,
He will show at some point. He
yeah,
will
he
show
will.
at
He
some
was
point.
awake this morning. He said something, and then he disappeared. But yeah, if you do have any questions, make sure you contact us directly. We'll try our best to reply to you. We are getting a lot of sort of
Yeah, a lot of messages.
interaction right now. Yeah, so we'll try our best to get back to you. Obviously, our main focus is within the students in the group. Um, but yeah, if you are interested in joining the bootcamp as well, that's going to be in there in the description with the discount code, which is also going to be there. But we shall see you in the next podcast. Bye, guys.